You know, sometimes you find a movie that was just done right. That doesn't mean it was perfect or a big hit necessarily, but you can tell it was made with love. From top to bottom. And that sets it apart from the usual fare. This time, I have a movie for you that was made just that way, with love writ large. We're talking about Tap from 1989. This movie stars the late Gregory Hines as a small-time burglar and troubled dancer. Our story goes like this. Gregory Hines is just off a term in prison. His father was a great tap dancer, a skill his son inherited. But Hines was tired of being poor, so he took the rocky road to easy money by becoming a second-story man. The night his father died, Hines got drunk and fouled up a robbery job and got arrested. Now, out of jail, Hines is trying to find himself again. He has a foot in two worlds. One, the world of his father, a great dancer, and his ex and love interest who still runs the late father's dance school, and the other with his old cronies and the world of crookdom. They want him to pull a job for them robbing a jewelry store. His ex wants him to try out for a Broadway show she's hoping to cast. And then there are the old-timers. His ex's dad sees something special in Hines and tries to win him over to the world of dance. He wants to get back with his ex, but he wants to be a success too. Which path does Hines take? Which road does he follow? The ex-girlfriend's son is played by Saivon Glover, a regular on Sesame Street and who carried on the legacy of tap dancing. Also in the cast is Joe Morton, who we last saw in Forever Young. He plays a hot-tempered crook who doesn't trust Hines. This is a film written and directed by Nick Castle, although it wound up being more of a collaborative effort with Gregory Hines. Hines, of course, was one of the great tap dancers in an age when tap dancing wasn't very prominent anymore. Even though everybody loves a good tap dance performance, it sort of fell out of fashion in the 1950s. Then came rock and roll, and that ruined everything. This movie brought together some of the legendary tap dance artists who were still around, and for some of them, this was the only time they appeared on film. Among others, we have greats like Bunny Briggs, Jimmy Slyde, and even Harold Nicholas, one of the famous Nicholas brothers. Each of the old-timers gets to show off some of their signature moves, which they could still do at 70 or 80 years old, in a dance challenge segment in the film. And then there was Sammy Davis Jr. He plays the ex-girlfriend's dad here in what would be his last feature film role. He died about a year or two after this came out. Sammy was best known as a singer, but in his prime he was also a top-flight dancer. He was just off a hip operation, so no one was sure if he'd take part in the dancing challenge scene, but there he was, tapping away. This was a great role for him, by the way, and a great way to go out, on a high note. His character is a guiding light for Hines, really speaking to him and helping him find purpose again. And Hines is really marvelous. He was credited for Improvography, basically making up his dance steps as he went, as opposed to following strict choreography. There's some fantastic dancing in this, a love letter to the world of tap. The dancers are shot, for the most part, in full frame, so you can see the dancer truly perform, not just close-ups of their feet. Also in the movie, we see a then-new technology called Tap-tronics, which was meant to allow a dancer's taps to be amplified over music or processed through a synthesizer to create new sounds. Hines does a number with these special Tap-tronic tap shoes, which had never been used in a movie before. There's also a great little number on a rooftop where Hines and his ex do a Fred and Ginger style routine. The movie isn't heavy or anything. On the face of it, it's a very simple story, and you know how it'll probably wind up in the end. But some movies can make such an impression that they make lasting change. Tap did that, to a degree, by reintroducing people to the art form and reinvigorating interest in tap dancing at a time when it had almost faded away. And again, this is a movie made with total and absolute love. It's not Citizen Kane, no. But watching this again, I couldn't help but feel that we sorely need more movies like Tap today. I'm giving Tap 2 3/4 paws up. Like tap dancing, it's well worth revisiting. There's some great characters, and Tap offers a glimpse of dancing history, the likes of which we'll never see again. You can watch another of my reviews here, and down there you can see more reviews of movies from the 1980s. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.